What are you going to do to celebrate Stop Bad Service Day? Stop Bad Service Day is celebrated the first Wednesday of March every year. And I wanted to take some time to talk about why Stop Bad Service Day is important and what you can do to celebrate it. Now, this is important because, as you know, bad service from businesses in our communities is linked to overall customer satisfaction, business longevity, and the ability for those businesses to thrive. Not many people are aware of Stop Bad Service Day and also not aware of what they can do in order to celebrate. So in this video, I wanted to talk about the importance of Stop Bad Service Day and how we could utilize this day to raise the awareness towards bad service from the businesses in our communities. And by watching this video, my hope is that you'll come out of it with an action plan of what you can actually do in order to celebrate the day. Now, working in the manufacturing environment in corporate America for over 20 years as a quality professional, it's really given me a unique perspective on how the issue of bad service can be solved through implementing some very basic tools and techniques that companies have used for years in order to provide quality services and products to their customers and to guarantee customer satisfaction. So, let's talk about how to observe the day and what you can actually do to observe. Now, if you're a business owner, take the time to actually walk through your business and identify touch points in your process where you're going to come in contact with the customer, and make sure that you identify potential issues that can go wrong, and then put solutions in place in advance so that the customer can be satisfied. And in things, this is the real world. So when things inevitably go wrong, also come up with some type of a recovery plan so that you can get back in the good graces of that customer even when something goes wrong. So for example, let's say you own an Airbnb, right? First of all, go to that Airbnb listing and take your owner hat off and actually read it from the perspective of the customer. Make sure that what you're actually promising in that listing, that you're able to deliver when they get to the property. And then, walk through your property. Just walk through it from the perspective of the customer, and make sure that, where are some areas, some things that could probably go wrong or potentially go wrong, and make sure you not only try to prevent it, but also have a recovery plan in place so that you could be back in those good graces and make sure that you get a good rating from that Airbnb customer when they leave. Okay, so now what about if you are you work in the customer service field, let's say, what you want to do is go through the information, the training that you've been provided by your employer, and make sure you're up to speed on all the things in terms of what you're supposed to do to execute your job. Now, remember, you're not just doing it for that business or even for the customer. You're doing it for yourself as well, because training on customer service is a transferable skill. When you go off to your next job, or even when you start your own business, you'll have that training that you can take with you, and nobody can take that with you. So for example, if you work in a restaurant, are you executing the proper greeting, the way that you've been trained to? Or are you knowledgeable about the dishes that are available for that day? Now, as a customer, as a concerned citizen, what you can do is make sure that you are providing feedback, especially when you have service that's not so good. But also when you have good service, you want to provide that same feedback as well. Speak up, let your voice be heard, and give that feedback. But do it in a constructive way, so that you can make sure that it's well received. But if it's not being well received, then by all means, vote with your feet, exercise your power, and take your business elsewhere if you have to. So what if we do these things, and if we all pitch in, what happens over time is that we're going to be able to build better communities through this focus on customer satisfaction. But if we don't, what happens over time is that these businesses, with the customer service not being up to par, eventually they're going to lose business, they're going to lose customers, they're going to go out of business, they're going to be unable to provide the jobs that they're able to provide in the community. They're not going to be able to provide the tax revenue for that community, and they're not going to be able to be an example of a strong business in that community, able to provide the support and the services to that community that a lot of our great businesses are able to do. So what I ask is this: two things. One is, in the link to this post, you'll see a link to an article that I wrote called "The Top 5 Killers to Customer Satisfaction." It outlines some of the key things that can be done in order to guarantee customer satisfaction from the businesses in our communities. But also take some time and think about, for Stop Bad Service Day, what can you do in order to make an impact and to raise that awareness. Now, if you're a business owner, remember that customer satisfaction is not just your promise, it's actually your business. And as an employee, the customers are the ones who write your paycheck, and eventually basically pay your rent and your mortgage. So make sure you are, providing them with the appropriate level of service. And as just the community at large, and the customers, businesses, neighbors, neighborhoods, our communities, and the world can thrive through a focus on customer satisfaction.